Hello, everybody. It's the old bear from the old bear's den of Bigfoot, and a friend of ours from uh, the channel has asked for a an account that I have had that I had gotten from uh, some family members on my mother's side from my uncles. They're deceased now, and this happened in 1930s when my mother was still a little baby girl. Um, it happened out on where my mother was raised, out on Cicerone, which is part of Sissonville. Actually, it's still considered Sissonville. And what happened was, is they had a small farm out there, and they farmed, uh, had their own gardens and stuff like that. And my uncles were younger. My mother was still a baby. She may have been toddling at this time. Uh, it's I don't know if it's Bigfoot, but that's what you guys are for. Uh, y'all tell me if you think it's Bigfoot that did this. And we're standing currently outside of my home, and you can see the trees and stuff behind me. You know, I'm surrounded by trees, and hence freaking Bigfoot just seems to want to freaking come to my house. Getting a little tired of that. Anyway, um, we uh, we decided to do a video today, and I'll give you the account of what my uncles told me uh, when I'd already grown up, and I guess Dad had kind of mentioned something to them about me seeing something uh, back in '86, and my uncle Clarence is the one that told me about this, and um, I miss him and my uncle Benny, and I miss Uncle Lawrence. They always treated me like one of their own. Um, anyway, they told me that when they were young, that my grandpa uh, would warn them not to be out after dark, and that if they came in after dark, that the booger would get them. That's what my grandpa told them. So, you know, they thought it was just something way for parents to keep them in line. Back at that time, you know, as a kid, you just didn't go against your parents, and you're not supposed to do it now, but people seem to do it anyway. Anyhow, they were out. Uncle Clarence and Uncle Lawrence, they were probably 10, 11, 12 years old, and they'd ate dinner and they went back out to play. And I believe my mother was just a baby or 5 or 6 years old at that point. And, you know, kids that age, they didn't go out after dark anyway. Well, I guess they were out playing, and they heard a loud uh, growl um, that came from the hillside behind the farm. We still have that farm in our family today, and there's some structures out there that I've found over the years that I've hunted on it, and you know, it's possible that the Bigfoot do move through that area. I don't see where they could stay, but yeah, it's pretty thick and growed up now. And anyway, they heard a loud growl, and when they heard the loud growl, it scared them. They went running towards the house, and they heard footfalls coming, running around the hillside, and got back to the house, and they told my grandpa. And Grandpa went out and shot a shotgun towards the hillside where they were playing. Now that's probably 40 or 50 yards from the hillside, and depending upon where this thing was at, whether it would have hurt the creature or not. But that happened about 3 nights in a row that they were out right at dark or right before dark, and that growl would always, and then it would always run around the hillside following them towards the house and get to where the house is at and stop. So after that point, my grandpa started, according to my uncles, he started standing out there next to the hillside while the kids were playing. And one night, this growl happened again after they had been out there playing. And at that point, my grandpa was ready. Uh, and he was a very tall man. And he was very protective over family. I guess that's where I get it from when it comes to any of my kids or grandchildren or my wife. Or I get that from my grandpa. And he's very protective, and he went looking for this thing when it growled. And they heard him shoot 5 times, and something screamed out in pain. And when he came back to the house, the only thing that he said to my uncles was it was a big hairy monster, that they were not allowed to be out past 4 o'clock in the evening from that point on, and they were made to stay at the house, stay closer to the house to play. So I don't know if my grandpa killed it, because my grandpa's not here to tell me, and he wasn't. And when I was born, my grandpa had already passed. But knowing from the stock that I come from, knowing my uncles, they were tough as nails. They were in World War II. Uh, Knowing my family on my mother's side and on my daddy's side, if he went up there to kill this thing, he killed it. I don't care if the man would have had to kill it by his bare hands, he'd have done it. But you tell me what you think about this account. And this happened in the late 20s, early 30s. I think it was 19. No, this was, yeah. So it had been close to 1940, right before my uncles would have went in World War II. So they were probably older, 16, 17 years old. They were probably into girls at that point. But they gave me that account after I had seen a Bigfoot and after I started investigating him, and told me about that. And that gave me another area to check out. And the family farm is still there. And as long as I breathe, that property will not be sold. It's part of my heritage. And, well, it's just another illustration that Bigfoot roams through West Virginia. Like it roams through Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, all 48 states. And Alaska. Don't know if they're in Hawaii. Never been to Hawaii. Don't want to go to Hawaii. But it's another account that I was asked about if I knew of any. And, there's no way to check it out back then, because the people that told me this are no longer with us. And I just figured I'd let you guys decide on what it was, because Grandpa never told nobody, and my uncles never saw it, so I thought I'd bring it to y'all and let y'all decide on what it is. Hope you enjoy it, and may each and every one of you stay blessed. Bye-bye.